Hello, Advent. I'm Dave Rodrick. I'm your seminarian. Anne and I first walked in the doors here at the Advent in the fall of 2000, and it was the first Episcopal church we had ever walked into, and we thought it was very weird. We kind of figured, well, we may not come back, but there was something that pulled us back, and we got the liturgy in our bones after a while. But what brought us here, the reason we came and tried it out, was we asked around town which churches are doing the most outreach work. And hands down, people said, oh, it's Church of the Advent. So that brought us here, and that has kept us excited about what goes on here ever since. And that's fitting that today, the devotional in Living Well Through Advent opens with something from Paul's letter to the churches in Galatia. So let us not grow weary in doing what is right, for we will reap at harvest time if we do not give up. Let us not grow weary in doing what is right. I don't know about you, but I am really weary of just about everything. I was up in Virginia at seminary this last fall, and all of us were just exhausted all the time. And it's not like there was more work. And one of the things we figured out is it's the lack of the human interaction. You get energy, right, from being with other people, and when you're not with other people very much or as much, everything just kind of takes it out of you. It is easy to grow weary in doing what is right, and it's harder to do what's right. We can't get out and do like we used to. So I'm going to make a suggestion about a private way to do what is right that I have found helpful, that I just discovered. I didn't just discover the rosary, that I had seen before, but I have a terrible time with my prayer life, I'll admit it. It just, to form a practice, and practice is what you have to do, is the best thing to do, because it forms us if we do it regularly. But it was always so scattered for me, and somehow I stumbled across the idea, if you haven't used one of these before, there are 5 sets of 10 beads on this rosary, and then in between each set, there will be one with a little space on either side of it. And to say the rosary, you'd work your way around it, saying Hail Mary. I use it to pray for people by name. Try to, each morning, the first bead, where the beads are separate, stand alone, I'll read one of the prayers out of the morning prayer in the Book of Common Prayer, which are wonderful. If you read all of them every day in the course of going around something like this, they pretty much cover life experience. But for the beads, I will have a list and just one by one say that person's name, starting with the family, for Anne, for Julie, for Elizabeth, just the name. It's not like God needs to know from me what is going on in people's lives. God knows much better than I do. But it's the intention to pray for that person, whatever that person needs, whatever joy, whatever heartbreak. It's a way to love them. And it's a way to be in touch with God. Sometimes people say, why do we need to pray? Again, God knows. God's going to do what God needs to do. It's because when you pray for people, you're connected with them in a very special way, I find, especially if you do it daily, and you're in connection with God. It's that intentional time that you are communicating with God about your care for these people in your life. You can go down the church directory, you can go down the list of people in your family, but each morning, saying their name with the intention of God's blessing will be a blessing to you. And where Paul says, if we are not weary of doing good, and I believe this is doing good for yourself, for the people you pray for, we will reap the harvest. He's talking about something grander, about the end of time. But every day there can be a harvest to reap. The hard days, the joyful days. At the end of the day, to be able to say to God, I was with you today. I was with the people that I loved. That's a harvest. I hope you will reap a harvest and not grow weary with doing good in whatever good you find to do. God bless you.